Okay, so welcome back to SwitchCorner. Today we're going to be taking a look at Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted for the Nintendo Switch. I can see immediately this thing must be amazing in VR, but can it still deliver the scares when we remove the VR functionality? Well, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here, join our growing family, and let's get this started. It's a story, and I gotta say, the concept's surprisingly deep. Fazbear Entertainment, the owners of our favourite animatronics, they financed and created the Freddy Fazbear virtual reality concept. This is because there's a certain video game series out there that's created urban legend, and it's basically impacted the brand's reputation, shall we say. This VR, it's been created as a way to basically discredit all these theories, and it's something they want to present to the world to kind of like get rid of these myths. Now I gotta say here, Freddy being self-aware of the previous entries surprisingly works really well, and yeah, basically Freddy goes meta. This of course though is just the beginning. As you move through the levels, not only will this story be pushing forward, but you'll also find cassette tapes that are scattered around these locations. These, they actually contain logs from one of the fictional game developers that worked on this VR experience, and it gives a whole new angle, shall we say, to what they're presenting to you. These though, I will say, they're not easy to find, and even when you do find them, good luck working out how to even listen to them. I appreciate them making me work for my story, I gotta say though, and you can really get as deep as you want, or just keep it at very much a surface level. Here though, we even get free endings if you need another excuse to return. My only minor problem here with storyline, the game does constantly refer to itself as a VR experience. Not a huge deal, but I will say it consistently just reminded me of what I was missing out on, and the fact I wasn't playing it in the intended way. I feel a little bit of attention here though could have gone a long way with a quick audio patch, and they could have easily sorted this out for this Switch specific release. Overall though, look, I gotta say, it's a really entertaining ride on the story front, interesting writing, optional ways to dig in deeper if that's for you, and then I gotta say, the Fazbear Entertainment voiceover here that tells this tale, it's perfect, with like this underlying feeling there's something sinister there in the background. It reminded me of GLaDOS from Portal, and that's about as high a compliment as I can give. This is really great stuff. So gameplay then, and you basically get 40 minigames. The first 16 are levels taken from the original trilogy, with 5 from the first game, 6 from the second, and 5 from the third. This is the core experience everyone knows and loves, with a new viewpoint when you're sitting in that security room. It was designed to take advantage of the VR, but I gotta say, it brings the locations to absolute life. Even here on a flat screen, you can rotate to look around and interact with the controls. It very much feels like everything's a lot bigger. All the basic functions though, switching cameras, closing doors, turning on lights, you'll be able to pick this up in a matter of seconds and work it out, and I've got to say it works really well. All three of these games then, they're as good as they've ever been. They've been tweaked slightly to make them feel like they all belong together. For example, in the first game now you can actually see Freddy and his crew moving, but yeah, this is about as good as the concept has honestly ever felt. They don't change the game, they won't change your mind. Like, for me, I didn't really enjoy the third entry that much, and I still don't. But it's nice to see them all get this modern cleanup, and you know, these are old games now, so it's definitely appreciated. So before we move on to the other modes then, with controls we do get two modes. There's a locked and free mode. Locked makes you use the right and left trigger to rotate, and then you select buttons to interact with what's around you. Free look, it's just that, you move the cursor on the screen. For all levels from past entries, I'll say now use the lock mode. The free look mode, you'll have no chance. It's not quick enough. You're gonna have to have like pinpoint accuracy on each button. It's very much not intended to be used that way. That's for the rest of this package, and we're gonna dive into that now. So first up, dark rooms. The idea is simple here, complete challenges based around a good old flashlight. First two, it's Stop Plus Trap and Nightmare BB on the big X in the middle of the floor within 60 seconds. Basically, you're going to be listening to audio cues and then working out when to flash the light on. It's actually pretty challenging, but once you do it once and work out what you're listening for, you'll be done with this for good, because you'll be able to get it perfect every single time. For the last two dark room challenges, they do ramp things a little bit. Here you get Plush Baby, you have to basically stop her from moving towards you and killing you throughout the night. And then finally, Fun Time Foxy, you just basically got to cross the room. Dark rooms, it's simple stuff. It's entertaining for maybe 20 minutes, but I doubt you'll want to return after you've beaten it once. More on the idea of actually returning to a mode as well, it's worth knowing all of the game modes in this package do have a hard variation. You flick a switch in the main menu, the room, if you want a slightly dialed up difficulty, and that goes for every mode too. So next up then, parts and service. I'm sure this is amazing in VR, but the lack of it basically makes this just super short-lived. Fix up Bonnie, Chica, Freddy and Fox. So yeah, you're listening to audio instructions and do as they say. The wording's going to try and trip you up a little bit, but that's about it. Sadly, this sort of stuff in VR is super entertaining, like the idea here of pulling Bonnie's eye out as you reach in. Here, we just move the cursor to it and click a button. That's it. For me, this is absolutely a missed opportunity, and I think they could have done something creative here, maybe with gyro controls, just to give it a little bit more life. 10 minutes to get through this maybe, and there's no chance you'll be going back, except for to maybe show off the character models, because I gotta say that they look pretty cool this close up. Now, vent repair, and I just hate vent repair. Basically, you need to repair vent shafts as you're being hunted down. Yeah, you're clicking buttons and pulling levers with controls that can best be described as dodgy. The buttons on screen though, they're too small. The cursor movement lacks any accuracy no matter how much I tweak the sensitivity. In VR, you know, swinging your arm out and hitting these different buttons, it makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure it's super entertaining and kind of tense. But here, trying to make micro adjustments as that crosshair skips across the screen is a pain in the ass. Really didn't enjoy this mode. Not only were the controls lacking, but then the omission of head tracking as well makes it very difficult to keep up or really understand what you're trying to do. You'll be pressing the right trigger to lean into different openings and things, and yeah, the best way of describing parts and service and vent repair in VR, I'm sure they're super tense. Here it's move a cursor, click a button, repeat. It's kind of like a light switch simulator, and that's not a compliment, nor a fault of the game, to be honest. It's just a different feeling that something so simple can feel so much more involved when it's actually in a 3D space around you. So last up then, night terrors, and this is basically a twist on the original formula. Start in a room and basically look out the doors and occasional wardrobe while trying to survive. There is increased jump scares here because you get Bonnet and Bon Bon running around. They don't cause a game over, they're just more of a distraction, but they'll definitely get you jumping out your skin a few times. Basically, Freddy's the only one that can kill you. Here though, you want to jump between multiple locations with what is a trusty VR teleport. You're monitoring the different locations around you or keeping Freddy at bay with a flashlight. If he gets too close, you can even hold these doors shut or the wardrobe shut. Not quite as good as the core experience, but it's decent stuff. I enjoyed these and I could see myself heading back to them. Outside of game modes then, I'd say really the rest of the package comes down to collectibles to find that will give you prizes, and then of course those audio logs that we discussed before. It's definitely a nice reason to go back if you're missing a few audio logs or a few of the 30 collectibles. So overall, the original 3 games, they still feel great, and then for the most part, the Night Terrors mode too, as it morphs that core concept to be just slightly different. Sadly though, dark rooms, parts and service and vent repair just seriously lacking when you remove that VR functionality. And yeah, I doubt very few of you would want to return to it once you've invested maybe the required 20 or so minutes to beat each. Fans, I will say this, there's no doubt you're going to get some small kicks out of these modes, like seeing Freddy and his crew up close and personal. That's very, very cool. It's just that actually when it comes down to the gameplay, they're dull and way too simplistic when you take the VR out of it. So graphically speaking, I'll say it now, this is the best Freddy and his crew they've ever looked. I have no doubt about that. Having played the installments so far on Switch, this is just a huge jump up. First off, the cast, they look fantastic. The creepy animatronics take on just a whole new life thanks to not only the creepy upgraded movements they have, but in scale as well. Thanks to this new 3D viewpoint, you can very much feel them towering over you in size, which adds not only the terror but a new level of intimidation. The environments then as well, they look great. The lighting is amazing, not only to add some challenge, but to very much add some depth to everything we see. Like, you very much feel like the corridors are far out and dragging into the distance. No mode here disappoints visually. Even the door ones like parts and repair, like I said, just getting these characters seeing the inner workings is truly fascinating. Last up then as well, I really like the main menu. It's the pizzeria and it's really well done. You can jump between menus, look around the location, and then there's that big old power unit to your left hand side that if pulled, kicks in hard mode and all power will go down. Look, it looks really cool. It very much reinforces that you're about to get your ass kicked, and overall for this one visually, there's very little I can complain about. So audio wise, Freddy's always been pretty strong in that department, and for the most part here, it's no different. There's not a lot overall, but it has it where it counts. Basically expect creepy environmental sounds, movement you can hear but you can't quite see, smart 3D implementation, so you can hear these characters moving around you, and then the world itself, it's very much alive with like electricity, mechanical parts, or at least until the power goes down. Then the all-important jump scares. Well, I wish they would mix it up a bit more. It's basically a really loud noise that's going to scare the crap out of you the first few times before you become numb to it. My only issue with the original trilogy on my TV, or even wearing headphones, the dialogue to open it when you pick up the phone or even put it down for the speakerphone, it's a little bit quiet and the balance is off. It could do with a minor patch there. Outside of that though, honestly, audio absolutely just delivers where it needs to. So overall, look, I gotta be honest, while I love the new take on the first 3 entries and new night terrors, the other 3 modes, they miss the VR implementation a lot. I'm sure they're great fun when you're using a headset as you reach out, physically to interact with these things, but here they just amount to little more than point and click, job done, you did it. Where this experience shines though, it's the first 3 games where we get a selection of levels and dark rooms. Never has Freddy felt so real. The new design of the control room that actually wraps around you as well, it adds this level of immersion I've not quite felt with Freddy before. It's very, very cool stuff. Throw in then as well the more interesting than you would ever expect storylines, stunning visuals, and depth with 3 endings and secrets to uncover. There is quite a bit of content here, I gotta be fair. So this is a tough one to score with a mix of modes that are either great or lacking. Fortunately, the fun ones though, they're pretty amazing. If the Switch is your only way to play, I'm gonna say pick it up. Maybe wait for a sale first, so I will say it's a little on the pricey side if you ask me. Today though, I'm giving Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted a good 7 out of 10, but with a stipulation. If you're not a fan of the series, do not buy it, this will not change your mind. And 2, if you can play this on a VR anywhere else, don't even think about this version, skip it and go and download it somewhere else. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Will you be picking this one up and adding it to your collection? Also, do you disagree or agree with what I've went through today? Let's talk about it in the comments below. But yeah, hit subscribe if you're new here and love the Switch as much as we all do. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.